Greetings and welcome to STEM Smart Academy. Today we are going to look at the Kapsabet High School Mathematics Paper 1, that is the 2026 mock paper. And before we start looking at this Kapsabet paper, kindly make sure you subscribe, like and share our videos to your other friends. Our consultation number is at the top here, that is 07 41 30 43 11. You can reach out anytime for more revision materials. For more revision materials, keep subscribing to our channel. So we are going to look at section 1 of this paper, that is 50 marks. And remember, section 1 is always compulsory, and each and every learner is supposed to be very keen while working on this section 1. So question number 1, without using calculators, evaluate a half plus 2 whole number 4/5 of 8 divided by 6 into 2 times 4 whole number 2/5 all over a half of 6 into 8 divided by 7 and a third, 3 marks. When you get such a question, first you start by working on the numerator part. Let's look at the numerator. That is a half plus, that will be 14/5 of 8 divided by 6 into 2 being multiplied by 22/5. Then remember to apply the rules of BODMAS in such a question. Brackets are there, yes, let's work it out. We are now going to have this as a half plus 14/5 of 8 being divided by 6 into 44/5. So this is again going to become a half plus 14/5 of 8 being divided by, now we are having 6 being multiplied by 44/5, and that will now become 264/5. 264/5. Then you go to off, we have off there, so this will become a half plus 14/5 of 8. Remember, off is just like multiplication, so that's just like saying 14/5 times 8. That should give you 112/5. 112/5 divided by 264/5. After that, you go to division. So we are going to have this as a half plus, so this will be 112/5 multiplied by, the reciprocal will be 5/264. So this will become a half plus, now when you have 112/5 being multiplied by 5/264, that will become 14/33. 14/33. And when you add 14/33 plus a half, it's now going to give you 61/66. 61/66. That is the numerator part. Once you are done with the numerator part, let's look at the denominator of this equation. So that is a half of 6 into 8 being divided by 22/3. So this will be a half of 6 into, when 8 is divided by 22 over 3, you're going to get 12 over 11. 12 over 11. So this will now become a half of, let's open the brackets. So 12 over 11 being multiplied by 6, that will be now 72 over 11. And now when you multiply that by a half, it should now become 36 over 11. Now remember, we normally have this as numerator divided by denominator. So our numerator is 61 over 66 being divided by the denominator, which is 36 over 11. So this will become 61 over 66 multiplied by 11 over 36. So when you have that, you're going to get your answer is 61 over 216. 61 over 216. Let's have a look at question number 2. Simplify the expression 4 power y minus, y power 4 minus x power 4 is all over y cubed minus yx squared. When you look at the numerator is a difference of 2 squares. And we know under this law, let me give this law here, that when you have this, we have a law under the difference of 2 squares that says a squared minus b squared is just like saying a minus b, then a plus b. We are going to apply that law. So our numerator, when you work it out now, because it's a difference of 2 squares, y power 4 minus x power 4, this can be written as y squared minus x squared, then y squared plus x squared, like that, all over the denominator we are having y cubed minus yx squared. Here the common term is y. You can factor out the common factor y. You will be left with y squared minus x squared. And in that context, when you look at that, then we can simplify by saying y squared minus x squared all over, and y squared minus x squared will cancel out. Then you will be having your answer is now y squared plus x squared all over y. That will become your simplified answer for question number 2. Let's look at question number 3. Solve for x in the equation 2 raised to power x plus 1, 2 raised to power x minus 1 times 1 over 8 raised to power 1 minus x is equal to 4 raised to power 3x plus 1. In such a question, ladies and gentlemen, you need to apply the laws of indices. One thing I have to say, the laws of indices are very clear, and they normally say, if I have here 1 over b, this can be written as b raised to power negative 1. And applying that law, this is what I mean. When you apply that law that I've written on the left hand side of my question paper, this can be written as 2 raised to power 2x minus 1 times, because this is 1 over 8, 1 over 8 can be written as 8 raised to power negative 1 into 1 minus x should be equal to, then 4 can be written as to base 2, that will be 2 power 2 into 3x plus 1. That is the first step. Step number 2, this now will become 2 raised to power 2x minus 1 being multiplied by, remember 8 can be written as 2 cubed. So this will be 2 cubed into, remember when you have negative 1 into 1 minus x, that will just become as negative 1 plus x. That way should be equivalent to 2 into, this can be written as 6x plus 2. Now I want to simplify those numerators there, the powers. So this will be 2 raised to power 2x minus 1 being multiplied by 2 into negative 3 plus 3x should be equal to 2 raised to power 6x plus 2. Like that. Then we have a law that says, after expressing these ones that way, maybe one thing I want to do, I have a law that says, let me write that law here. B power m multiplied by b power n can be like b power m plus n. We call it the product law. When multiplying numbers with the same base, powers with the same base, you simply add the powers. So considering that law, I'm going to integrate it here. On the left hand side, I'm doing multiplication but with things that have the same base too. So I'm going to add my powers. So on the left, I'm going now to have 2 raised to power 2x minus 1 plus negative 3 plus, I'm saying negative 3 plus 3x. This should be equivalent to 2 raised to power 6x plus 2. On the left, I've added, because I was multiplying, I've added. Now, there is also another law that says, when dealing with indices, if the bases are the same, also it means the powers are the same. Because now we are operating with all this with base 2, meaning the base is the same, then you can ignore the bases and proceed with the powers. Now we are going to have the powers as 2x minus 1 minus 3 plus 3x being equal to 6x plus 2. So 2x plus 3x, that is 5x, minus 6x should be equal to 2. Then negative 1 plus negative 3, that is negative 4. On crossing to the other side, it will become plus 4. And if that is the case, 5x minus 6x, this is negative x, being equivalent to 6. Then it means the value of x is equal to negative 6. The value of x in that context is equivalent to negative 6. Negative 6. I hope I've done it the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe to STEM Smart Academy. Question number 4. The market price of a modern camera is 24,000 shillings. A trader sold it to a customer at a 10% discount. If the trader still made a profit of 20% on the cost price, what was its cost price? A very simple question. We are being told that the market price of a modern camera is 24,000 shillings. A trader sold it at 10% discount. So I want to get the selling price. So if you sell something at a 10% discount, the selling percentage is now 100 minus 10, which is 90. Now this is 90 over 100 being multiplied by 24,000. And this is going to give you, when you have 90 over 100 multiplied by 24,000, that should give you 21,600. 21,600. That is the selling price of that camera. But now, after having that as the selling price, ladies and gentlemen, we are being told that even after selling it at 21,600, still the trader made a 20% profit on the cost price. This means that this 20%, so this 21,600 is equivalent to 120%. What about the cost price, which is given by 100%? So to compute now the cost price, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have now 100 over 120 being multiplied by now 21,600. And this is now going to give you, when you take 100 over 120 times 21,600, you're going to get 18,000 shillings. That means that the cost price of that modern camera was 18,000 shillings. That's how you interpret it. Question number 5. A two-digit number is such that the sum of the digits is 12. If the digits are interchanged, the value of the new number formed is 15 times more than twice the value of the original number. Find the original number. Another very, very simple question. So because here the number is made up of two digits, so we can say let the number be xy, or rather let the digits in the number be xy. We can say let the digits be x and y. So they are saying that if the sum of the digits is 12, that means x plus y should give me 12. And this is equation 1. If the digits are interchanged, remember initially it was xy. Now when you interchange the digits, that becomes yx. The value of the new number, remember when you talk about the value of a number is formed by getting the total value of each digit here. When you have yx, the total value of x is once. The place value of x is once, therefore the total value of x will be 1 times x, which is x. The place value of y here is tens, so the total value of y will be 10 times y, which is 10y. Therefore, when you are asked the value of yx, the value of yx will be 10y plus x. 10y plus x. So this is the value of the new number formed. So they are saying that the value of the new number formed is 15 more than twice the value of the original number. So first of all, what is the original number? Let me subtract. The original number, because we had it as xy, so originally the place value of y was once. Its total value will be 1 times y, which is y. The place value of x would have been 10, therefore its total value will be 10x. So original number was 10x plus y. So when you have twice of the original number, meaning 2 times into the original number, that is 10x plus y. So the new number formed is 15 more than twice the value of the original number. So the difference between the new number and the original and twice the original number is now 15, based in the language. When you open these brackets, ladies and gentlemen, this will be 10y plus x minus 20x minus 2y is equivalent to 15. I want we break it down. We are breaking it down. And as we are breaking down, you need to understand this one, that collection of like terms is very important. in such a question. So 10y minus 2y, that's going to be 8y. We're going to have here 8y. Positive x minus 20x, that will be negative 19x. This should be equivalent to 15. And this is equation 2. Now we have the first equation, x plus y is equals to 12. The next equation, now we have 9y. So not 9y, but in the second equation we have 8y minus 19x being equal to 15. I can rewrite, let me solve these two equations using substitution method. X can be given as 12 minus y as per the first equation. When I substitute it here, I'm going to have 8y minus 19 into x, which is given by 12 minus y. This should be equal to 15. That should be equal to 15. And when you are there, we are going to have this as 8y. So negative 19 times 12, that will be negative 228 minus 228, then plus 19y is equal to 15. So 8y plus 19y, so that will become 27y. 27y being equal to 15 plus 228. 27y will be equal to, when you have 228, 228 plus 15, that is 243. And when you divide through by 27, because y should be given by 243 divided by 27, therefore the value of y, when you divide this by 27, y is 9. We are getting the value of y is 9. After getting the value of y as 9, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get the value of x. The value of x, remember we said x is given by y minus, sorry, 12 minus y. So x will be given by 12 minus y, which is 9. Therefore, x is equal to 3. Find the original number. To get the original number, remember the original number was the digits x, y, so it is 10x plus y. So 10x will be 10 into x, which is 3, plus y, which is 9. So this is 30 plus 9. That makes it to be 39. The original number is 39, ladies and gentlemen. The original number is 39. And that's how you respond to such a beautiful question. We are proceeding well, and allow I go to question number 6, which says that using the reciprocal and the square roots table only, you need to do evaluation of 9.452 squared plus 1 over 63.37, 3 marks. Let me get my log table so that we can all fast track this very fast. Remember, I'm giving you one by one guidance in this mathematics. And if you find our classes helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe to STEM Smart Academy. Share this link to your other friends so that they might also join and benefit from our free YouTube classes. STEM Smart Academy is online school number 1 in Kenya, and probably it's among the best all over the world. So it's a privilege hosting you here. All right, let's get to page 17. That's where we have the reciprocals. Or maybe before I get to reciprocals, it's good we get to squares and square roots, because when you look at here, it's the squares table, not even the square roots. Let's get to the squares table. I'm getting to the squares table. Here I am. In the squares table, we want to get the square. First of all, we have 9.452 squared. This can be just written as 9.452 times 10 power 0 squared. So we are going to read 9.4 then 5. 9.4 then 5. That should be 9.4 then 5. 9.45 is here. So 9.4 is here. Then 5. 9.45 is here. So that is 89.30. We're going to have that as 89.30. Then we have this pending 2. So we are going to proceed along the same to 2. That is the 4. What are we going to do with this 4? Let's go up. What does it say? It says add the 4. So we are going to add here the 4. So this will become now 43.98. So this will now become 89.34. The square of 9.452 from the log table, we found it as 89.34. Let's also now work on getting the square root, not the square root, by the reciprocal of 63.37. So this will be like saying 1 all over 6.337 times 10 power 1. All of this we are going to get its reciprocal. We go to page 17 of our log tables that contains the reciprocals. We are here, but now we want to read the reciprocal of 6.3. We are going to read the reciprocal of 6.3, then 3. Let's see. 6.33, 6. I'm just getting to it. 6.33. I'm very curious. Just a moment. Yes, 6.3, then 3. So 6.3 is here, then 3. We are having 0.1580. 0.1580. After getting this 0.1580, then we have 7 pending there. 7. So we are going to go along the same row to the column headed 7. That is 2. What are they saying here at the top? You subtract the 2. So let's subtract the 2. 0 minus 2 is impossible. We borrow 1. This will be 7. This is 10. 8, 7, 5, 1, 0. So this is giving us 0.1578 times 10 raised to power 1, and you get its reciprocal, it will be 0.1. So this will make it further to be 0.01578. We are done also with that one. And now, because the 2 were being added, now we are going to add the 2 answers we've gotten. The first answer we got was 89.34 plus 0.01578. When you do the addition, there now you are free to use your calculator. 89.34 plus 0.01578 0.3578. So this gives you 89.35578 as your answer. Ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing to fear. Remember, math is very simple. All you need to do is having a daily practice and things will become very simple for you. We are going now to question number 7. Two similar containers hold 2,000 cubic centimeters and 6.75 liters respectively. If the smaller container has a diameter of 15.50 centimeters, what is the radius of the larger container? Correct to 1 dp. Because this is volume in cubic centimeters and this is capacity in liters, I'll convert this capacity in liters to cubic centimeters. Remember that 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 cubic centimeters. What about 6.75 liters? You cross multiply. So this will be 6.75 being multiplied by 1,000. And when you multiply this one, removes the 2 decimal points. So this one becomes 6,750 cubic centimeters. So from this, we can get the volume. When you get the ratio of the two volumes, this gives what is called the volume scale factor. I can take the volume of the smaller container, that is 2,000, over the volume of the bigger one, which is 6,750. This can simplify too. When you use your calculator, you just put 2,000 all over 6,750, then you press the equal sign. This becomes 8 over 27. 8 over 27. This is the volume scale factor. After getting the volume scale factor, ladies and gentlemen, you must get what we call the linear scale factor. Linear scale factor. And how do you obtain the linear scale factor when you have the volume scale factor? You simply cube root the volume scale factor. So when you cube root 8 over 27, you'll be getting your linear scale factor. Linear scale factor. And let's cube root it. So when you cube root, you're going to get 2 over 3. Remember, 2 represents the smaller container and 3 represents the bigger container. They are now saying if the smaller container has a diameter of 15.50, what is the radius of the larger container? Correct to 1 dp. So what you need to know, if the smaller container, which is being represented by 2 here, has a diameter of 15.50, so how do you get the diameter of the larger container? So you ask yourself, what about 3? You cross multiply. This will be now 3 being multiplied by 15.50 divided by 2. So the diameter of the larger container, the diameter now will become, when you look at that, it will become 23.25. 23.25 centimeters. That is just the diameter of the larger container. Remember, the question is not asking about the diameter, it's asking about the radius. And you know that radius is normally half the diameter. So now to compute the radius, you simply take your diameter, 23.25, then you divide it by 2. When you divide 23.25, you divide it by 2, you are going to get 11.625 centimeters. But remember, they want the answer correct to 1 dp. So to 1 dp, the answer will be 11.6 centimeters as the radius. So that's how you break down such a simple question. Let's look at question number 8. Given that OA is equals to I plus 3j minus 4k and OB is equal to 3I minus j minus k, find the magnitude of AB. When you see those slashes, or rather the bars around AB, it symbolizes what's called the magnitude, which we also refer to as the modulus or the length. So when you get the term magnitude, modulus, or length in vectors, they mean the same thing. Before we get the magnitude of AB, first we need to get vector AB, ladies and gentlemen. And to get vector AB, it is vector OB minus vector OA. And we are going to express these vectors as column vectors when we are doing subtraction, and we are going to deal with the coefficients. So the coefficient of I in B here is 3. The coefficient of J is -1, and the coefficient of K is also -1. That way, minus the coefficient of I in OA is 1, the coefficient of J in OA is 3, and the coefficient of K in OA is -4. So when you do the subtraction, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minus 1, that will be 2. -1 minus 3, that will be -4. -1 minus -4, that's just like saying -1 plus 4, which is +3. So that is our AB, vector AB. Now, after we've gotten that, you also now need to know the formula for getting the magnitude of AB. So when you have AB this way, its magnitude is given by the square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared if it has 3 dimensions. So this is like getting the square root of 2 squared plus -4 squared plus 3 squared. So this is just like getting the square root of, when you square those elements, I'm also squaring them here, the square root of 29. So, and the square root of 29 is 5.385 units. So that's how you respond to such a question, ladies and gentlemen. Keep subscribing, follow us as STEM Smart Academy. Let's have a look at the next question. That's question number 9. That says that 3 schools, A, B, and C, are such that B is 12 kilometers due south of A, and C is 15 kilometers from A. C is on a bearing of north 30 degrees west from B. Calculate the bearing of C from A. Calculate the bearing of C from A. 3 marks. Ladies and gentlemen, when you find such a question, you need to know that first it's good you give a sketch. They are saying that B is 12 kilometers due south of A. So I can be having a point here, say A. I can have this point here as my A. But they are saying now B is 12 kilometers due south of A, meaning somewhere here I have my B. And C is 15 kilometers from A. But they are saying that C is on a bearing of north 30 degrees west of B. North 30 degrees west of B. So somewhere that way, such that this angle here, north to west here, is 30 degrees. North 30 degrees west from B. That is C somewhere there. But remember that if it is here, maybe that way, what you need to understand if this is our C, is that, let me just have here my compass in full. I'm giving a sketch to make you guys relate it better. Remember they said that C is 15 kilometers from A. So C here is 15. Then they're asking, calculate the bearing of C from A. The bearing of C from A. That is the bearing of C from A. Let's see how we are going to break it down. How we are going to break it down. But this is now becoming even quite simpler. The first thing I can do is I can get interested to use Pythagoras theorem. Well, not really the Pythagoras theorem. I can use the sine rule. The sine rule says A over sine A is equals to B over sine B is equals to C over sine C. So if I consider that, I'll have this as 15 over sine 30 should be equivalent to 12 over sine C. So that means that 15 sine C is equals to 12 sine 30. So it means that sine C is equals to 12 sine 30 divided by 15. So C is like saying the sine inverse of 12 sine 30 over 15. And if that is the case, then it means now we can use our calculators. First, let me get 12 sine. I have here 12 sine 30. Then I divide it by 15. Or let me start 12 sine 30 divided by 15. Then now the sine inverse of my answer. I'm getting this angle here as 23.58. 23.58 degrees, the whole of that angle. After getting that angle, it now becomes quite simple. The angle at C. That means now that angle ACB is equals to 23.58 degrees. After computing that angle, ladies and gentlemen, now we have that angle with us. Remember, the thing is here, you need to get the bearing of C from A. The bearing of C from A. We are now going to apply a lot of principles here. We are going to apply a lot of principles here. And I'm going to incorporate the concept of alternate angles. If this angle here is 30, comparing that all the nothings in a bearing are parallel, also this angle here should be 30 because it alternates with this angle. And we know that alternate angles are equal. If this angle is 30, from south to east, it should be 90. So this angle here should be 90 minus 30, which is 60. Which is 60. If that is the case, let me see. 12 kilometers. It's my hope that I've done this thing well. Just a moment, let me see. Just a moment. I see. So that is 23. Okay. After getting that, how are we going again to proceed? How are we going to proceed? We can even use again what's called the cosine rule. A squared plus b squared minus 2bc cos A. A squared minus b squared. A squared minus b squared. Remember, with the cosine rule, you know that a squared minus b squared plus 2bc cos A. Let's see. Because this angle here is 30, if this is 30, then this should be 30. But ACB should be 23. Then it means simply that I'm trying to see another simple approach that we can lay to this question. Don't forget subscribing, ladies and gentlemen. Keep subscribing to STEM Smart Academy. Share your views. Drop a comment in the chat section telling us where you tend to follow us live from. Very important. When you go back to school on Monday, don't forget saying hi to your math teacher. Tell him or her that you gained something insightful over the weekend from STEM Smart Academy. From STEM Smart Academy. We are just proceeding well. We are just proceeding very, very well. And here, we need to be very, very keen. We need to be very, very keen. We need to be very, very keen. We are proceeding well. Another thing that I want to maybe, I'm figuring them out. We see which one is better than the other. So if I join here, I don't have this measurement. Okay. We are doing very well. We are doing it very, very well. We are doing it very, very well. And let's keep revising. That's what I can advise learners. Mathematics needs a daily practice. If you practice it on daily basis, it might become very simple for you. So after we said that 15 over sine 30 is equals to 12 over sine C, we got the value of C, that is the total angle there as 23.58. But now, what you need to know, C is on a bearing from B, north 30 degrees west. We try to integrate the cosine rule. And when you integrated the cosine rule, I think we can use the cosine rule to get the length of BC. I'm pretty sure when you use well the cosine rule, you'll be able to get that, because BC squared can be given by AB squared plus AC squared minus 2AB times AC cos ABC. Because let me just give maybe a slight sketch here. When you have maybe something here, angle A, B, C, we normally say A squared is equals to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So when you want to get that, if I say this is B squared is equals to A squared plus B squared minus 2BC cos this. I'm trying to see the side that we don't have, because this went to the north, this is west, so this is 90, this 15, we don't have that angle. Okay, we need to be very, very keen and particular in this calculation. We need to be very keen and particular in this calculation. We need to be very keen. So after we got this as 23.58, but remember the whole of this one here is 60. So what does it mean? What does it mean? It simply means that because this was just an estimate, angle ACB, the whole of that angle should be 23.58 degrees. Then it means to get the point literal, to get this angle, it means we are going to take, because this must be 30, then from it there should be I'm having its view this way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having the view this way. That angle here, because it should be 23.58. So we are going to have it standing in this manner. We are going to have it stand in this manner. We need to be very, very keen and vigilant. We need to be very keen and vigilant. We need to be very keen and vigilant. Because this is 30, and the whole of this one here, we found it as 23.58. So it means that if the whole of that is 23.58 plus this 30, what is the remaining angle? To get this top angle here, this angle, to get that angle, it's going to be very simple. That means, because the whole of that should be 180, I'm going to take 180 minus 30 plus 23.58. This will be 180 minus 53.58. When you take 180 minus 53.58, you are going to get 126.42 is this angle. And if that is the rule, and now they want the bearing of C from A. You know, when they say C from A, when they say C from A, meaning standing from A, if this is it, it should go with this. So C from A, the bearing of C from A will be, it will now be, I'm just trying to see, the bearing of C from A. We are now getting the bearing of C from A. What's your take? on the bearing of C from A, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be very, very keen when responding to this question. You need higher degree of accuracy. So this angle here is 126. And because of that, what it means is very simple. What it means is very simple. The whole of this is 126. When you look at 126, what does it mean? It means we have 90 plus, because 126 is 126.42, you minus 90, means 36. We have some 36 is lagging somewhere here. It is somewhere here, 36. Or what I'll do, it's very simple. Because the whole of this should be 23. Sorry, the whole of this should be 53. Just hold on. Because the whole of this one here should be 23, I can get this angle. I can now say angle CAB, angle CAB is equivalent to 180 minus 30 plus angle CAB, 180 minus 30 plus 23.58. So you find that that angle is 126.42, this angle here. And because it's 126, and already the whole of this is 180, so to find now the bearing will now be 180 plus 126.42. When you add 180 plus 126.42, that's going to give you 306.42. 306.42 degrees. Question number 10. Solve the inequality. You've been given 3 minus 2x is less than x, which is less than or equal to 2x plus 5 over 3. So the first part we are going to have is 3 minus 2x. 3 minus 2x being less than x that way. So we are going to have 3 is less than x plus 2x. This means that 3 is less than x, is less than 3x, meaning now that 1 is less than x. That's the first part of this inequality. The next part here we are going to have is x is less than or equal to 2x plus 5 over 3. So I can remove this denominator by multiplying here by 3, this one here by 3. I'll now have 3x less than or equal to 2x plus 5, because the 3 and the 3 will cancel. So 3x minus 2x is less than or equal to 5. It means that x is less than or equal to 5. After getting x being less than or equal to 5, remember that, so 1 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 5. State the integral values which satisfy this. So to get the integrals, we'll be having 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is inclusive. So those are the integral values. Those are the integral values. Let's have a look at question number 11. The gradient of a line, the gradient of a line L through A 2x minus 4 and B that's negative 1x is 1 over 7. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to L through B. So because you know that gradient, which is given by 1 over 7, should be given by change in y. That is change in y will be 4 minus x over change in x, which is given by 2x minus negative 1. So this will become, when you cross multiply, 7 into 4 minus x should be equal to 2x plus 1. So that's where we are going to start from. So this will be 28 minus 7x is equal to 2x plus 1. So I'll have here 28 minus 1 is equals to 2x plus 7x. So 27 is equals to 9x. Therefore, this means the value of x is equal to 3. If the value of x is equal to 3, then it means point B will be now negative 1 comma 3, because it was negative 1 comma x, but we found the value of x as 3. Then point B is negative 1 comma 3. And because we want now to find the equation of the line perpendicular to that, remember, for perpendicular lines, m1, m2 is equals to negative 1. m1, m2 is equals to negative 1. So m1 is negative 1, it's 1 over 7. m2 is equals to negative 1. Then it means m2, that's the second gradient, is equals to negative 7. And if that is the case also here, ladies and gentlemen, what do you need to know? When you take x minus 3, gradient is given by change in y. So y minus 3 over x minus negative 1, it should be equal to the new gradient, which is negative 7. So y minus 3 is equals to negative 7 into x plus 1. Y minus 3 is equals to negative 7x minus 7. Negative 7x minus 7. Then when you are here, you're going to have y being equal to negative 7x minus 7 plus 3. This means that y is equal to negative 7x minus 4. Y is equal to negative 7x minus 4. That's how you respond to that part of the question. Let's look at question number 12. Question number 12. On the figure below, LM is parallel to PQ. Angle MLN is equal to 30 degrees and angle NPQ is equal to 70 degrees. Find the value of x. So here, I'm going to extrapolate these lines a bit so that they can be easily understood. I'm extrapolating these lines here. So when you have two parallel lines and a transversal cutting through, the concept about alternate angles come in. MLN is 30 degrees, this angle here. NPQ is 70 degrees. So when you have that, what comes to your mind? They want the value of angle x. So that means that first of all, what should come to your mind is this concept here. This is something very, very simple. Something very, very simple. How do you get this? Allow, maybe even before I proceed much, I extend this diagonal. Allow I extend this diagonal this way. Once I extend, if this angle here is 30, this angle also here is 30. And if this 70 this is 30, then this one here will be 70 plus 30 is 100. You less from 180, this will be 80. And if this angle is 80 and these are straight line, then this angle here will be so angle L and P is equal to that will now be 180. Sorry, it will be now be 180 minus 100, which is equal to, sorry, minus 80, 180 minus 80. So this is equivalent to 100 degrees. That angle here is 100 degrees. And when you look at angle N and angle X, they are angles at a point, meaning they should add up to 360 degrees. So the value of angle X, it's going to be now 360 minus 100, which is equivalent to 260 degrees. 260 degrees. Alternatively, if I use this as 80, and I know this is a straight line, this is 180. So 180 plus 80 still, it could have given me 260 degrees. We have several ways. Question number 13, complete the sketch below for the prism. Although this line was wrong, I think it's not that complete. Allow, I extrapolate BC intersects here. So when you look at this is a triangular prism, and this is how it should be completed. Remember, dotted lines, hidden lines should be dotted. Hidden lines should be dotted. This is how this prism looks like. I've done the completing. So you can see the hidden lines I've given them in a dotted manner. So that part is done. Let's look at question number 14. Question number 14. A Juakali artisan has 63,000 grams of metal of density 7 grams per cubic centimeters. He intends to make it a rectangular pipe with external dimensions 120 millimeters and 150 millimeters, and internal dimensions 100 millimeters and 120 millimeters. Calculate the length of the pipe in meters. First of all, let's calculate the volume of the metal. Remember that density is equals to mass over volume. So let me get the volume of the metal, which is given by mass over the density. So the mass here is 63,000 divided by the density of 7. This is going to be 9,000 cubic centimeters. So the metal has a volume of 9,000 cubic centimeters. Now what you need to know that the volume of the mass of the metal, should be equivalent to the volume of the rectangular pipe. So let me first let me look at this. Let me get volume of the pipe, which is given by pi r square. Let me use pi r squared h minus pi r squared h. Height is the same. So in this context, because height is the same, so this is like just saying pi h into r squared minus r squared to give you the volume of the pipe, which is equivalent to 9,000 9,000 because the volume of the pipe is equal to the volume of the metal. So 9,000 here is equal to pi, which is 22/7 times the height which we are looking for, into let me see. Oh, sorry. There is something I've left out. This I was thinking it's a cylindrical pipe, though this is a rectangular pipe. So here, what we need to understand here is this, that volume of the metal is equal to the volume of the pipe. And the volume of the metal will be given by 9,000 is equal to the volume of the pipe. Because this is a rectangular pipe, the volume is given by length times width times height. So let me calculate the external volume. The external volume will be given by the length. Length I don't know, multiplied by the width, which is 120 millimeters. That is just like saying 12 centimeters times 15 centimeters, minus the internal dimensions, the length I don't know, times the width. The width is 10/12. So this is 9,000 is equal to 12 times 15 gives you 180 L minus 120 L. So 9,000 is equal to 60 L. And they want the length. Now, L, our L here is going to be 9,000 divided by 60, which is equivalent to, when you take 9,000, you divide by 60, that gives you 150 centimeters. And because they want it in meters, you divide by 100. So 150 divided by 100, that's 1.5 meters. 1.5 meters. And that's how you interpret such a beautiful question, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget subscribing, liking, and sharing these videos with your other friends. Remember, STEM Smart Academy is channel number 1 offering free YouTube lessons. Let's proceed to question number 15, which is our second last question of discussion. Jane and Mary started a business. Jane and Mary started a business whereby they contributed 25,000 and they started a business where they contributed 25,000 and 20,000 shillings respectively. At the end of the year, a profit of 8,100 shillings was realized. From the profit funds for the development, dividends and reserves were set aside in the ratio 4:5:6 respectively. If the dividends were shared in the ratio of their contribution, determine part A, the amount set aside for development. If the dividends were shared in the ratio of their contribution, now determine the amount set aside. Remember that we have two people here, Jane and Mary, who started a business contributing 25,000 and 20,000 respectively. At the end of the year, a profit of 8,100 shillings was realized. From the profit funds for funds for development, dividends and reserves were set aside in the ratio 4:5:6 respectively. If the dividends were shared in the ratio of their contribution, determine part A, the amount set aside for development. So first of all, what you need to understand here, how much was set aside for development. Remember, the ratio here is 4. Let me get the total ratio. Total ratio here, that is 4 plus 5 plus 6. This is 15. So the amount set aside for development alone, development, in the from the profit, development took 4/15. So when you take 4/15 times the total profit, which is 8100, you are going to get 2160. This is giving us 2160. Now that's the amount that was set aside for development, 2160. Part B of the question, the dividends Mary received. Let's look at Mary. So dividends, they were shared in the ratio 5. The dividends is 5/6 of the 5/15 of the profit. So first of all, let's get 5/15. The dividends obtained from the profit of 8100. So when you have 5/15 times 8100, this gives you 2700. So Mary received 2700 from the profit as dividends. But now remember, if the dividends were shared in the ratio of their contribution, these dividends, so this is the money that was set for dividends. But now, these dividends, this is just dividends. Now this 2,700 shillings was now to be shared in the ratio of their contribution. So let's get their ratio of contribution. So to get the ratio of their contribution, remember they contributed, to get the ratio of their contribution, let me see. If the dividends were shared in the ratio of their contribution, how much they did contributed? So when you look at the ratio, 25,000 to 20,000. So the 3 zeros and the 3 zeros cancel. 5 here, 5 here, 4. So the ratio of their contribution, this is Jane to Mary, is 5:4. So the ratio of their contribution is 5:4, meaning the total ratio of contribution is 9. So Mary, the amount received by Mary from dividends, Mary received 4 out of the total 5 plus 4, which is 9, times the total dividends received from the profit, which is 2,700. This will be 9 here, will be 3, will be 300. 300 times 4, it's going to be now 1,200. 1,200. So that's the amount received by Mary as part of the dividends. Question number 16. Question number 16. I want to give me an ear, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are going to give me a listening ear. That the figure below is a velocity time graph for a car. You can see. Find the total distance traveled by the car. For you to get the total distance traveled by the car, so you need to know that total distance is equal to area under the graph. Area area under the graph. And when you look at the figure, it's a trapezium. So it's going to be a half into A plus B H. So bearing that in mind, so we are going to have this as a half into our A is 24 plus our B, this is 4, this is 20. 20 minus 4, that's 16. This measurement here is 16. Then times height from here to here, it's 80. So multiplied by 80. Then, let me see. 24 plus 16, that is 40 times 80. That's 3200 divided by 2. That is 1600 meters. 1600 meters. That is the total distance covered by the car. 2 marks. Part B, the deceleration of the car. When you talk about the deceleration, in which phase was the car decelerating? At this region here, that's when the car was decelerating. When you look at it again, what are you going to learn? The deceleration of the car. So, remember, acceleration is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by the time taken. So when you look at this, the final velocity it decelerated until it came to rest. That is the final velocity is 0. Initially here it was 80 to back to 0. So the final velocity is 0 minus the initial velocity of 80 divided by the time taken from 20 to 24. This is 4 seconds. 20 minus 24. 24 minus 20. So this is negative 80 divided by 4. This means our acceleration is negative 20 meters per square second. But look, the question talks about deceleration. Deceleration is already the opposite of acceleration. So if our acceleration is negative 20 meters per square second, then it means the deceleration, when writing a deceleration now, you simply ignore the negative sign. So the deceleration of the car, it is 20 meters per square seconds. Thank you for watching part section 1 of this paper. It has been so much insightful. Don't forget subscribing, liking, and sharing these videos with your other friends. See you in our next discussion soon. Thank you.